Yo, hey everybody. So in this video I'm going to go through the process of basically overhauling the Shimano ST. It's the ST-EF51 shifter brake combo. I've gotten quite a few requests on pulling one of these apart and basically disassembling, reassembling. I've got another video basically showing how to do some of the basic maintenance, but gotten so many requests we're going to go ahead and do this one. Another basic shifter that's common is going to be this one. I think the internals and everything are actually the same. We'll find out. I'm going to crack into both of them and see, but this is the ST-EF50. So yeah, let's first, I'm going to look at a couple things, that some other questions that I've gotten. But so this little bolt here, that's going to change as you tighten that in. It basically adjusts. It's just the screw just goes in and butts up against the end of the brake lever there, so it pulls the starting position. So if you have your handlebars here and you're having to reach, if you have small hands and you're really having to reach, if you tighten that screw in, it'll set that up to where you have easier reach to it there. So that's what that guy does. So the next, obviously that bolt just secures it to the handlebars. You loosen that to change the angle or slide it off or whatever. So this is your brake, the barrel adjuster, and then that's where the actual cable hooks in. So got a little piece of brake cable here. So it's just a standard mountain bike, BMX bike style brake. That's what the head of the cable is going to look like. So we're taking one of these in, or putting one of these in, or taking it out. Basically that just slides into that pocket, and you've got this slot, and there's slots in each of this. Basically you got your adjusting piece, the silver piece, and then this black piece kind of locks it in place. But you want to just find the two slots, line them up there, and then got our cable, just goes through goes through that main slot in the body, and then these two slots, just like so. Your cable housing butts into that little, or it fits into that little pocket there. So usually what I'll do is just undo the lock nut all the way. If you're setting this up from scratch, and we're going to just go ahead and tighten the adjusting barrel in, just kind of cinch the lock ring down. And so normally there's no gap where those line up, and you just hook your brake up from there, you're good to go. Alright, so these are the two that I'm going to basically break open. If they're exactly the same, I'll overhaul this one. If they're different, I'll do both of them. But anyway, both of these they're functioning. You can shift multiple one time as far as to downshift. Shift upshift or go to the smaller cogs. You just go one at a time. This and the little indicators back there. This one's a little rougher. The housing's cracked. I think the front shifter was damaged or quit working, so that's how I ended up with this one, just as a spare. But this one feels like it needs a little, it's not quite grabbing all the clicks, but it's shifting down okay. So technically it's functional, but yeah. So anyway, this one's got the cable's been cut off there, but it's still connected. So we'll go through the step first of, before we take it apart, we're gonna just undo these little, there's a screw there and one there, and it's the same on the EF51. It's a little easier to see on this one, but you got them there and there. And we've got a smallish screwdriver. I don't know what size this is. Probably like a number 1 size. Just gonna leave that little bolt in there. Well, it's actually there. The plastic housing piece is it's broken on that side. You can see that side how it's got those two little flaps on it. It's kind of broken up on this side, but those will fit into, there's kind of a couple little bits right here where those fit into. Alright, so we got our little cover off. For us to remove the cable, if you look, you can see it right there. Usually it kind of fits in this little pocket in there, so you have to, you usually pop it up and then you can just push on the cable from there. There we go. And then that'll just, got the main cover off. Here on the back side there's one little screw. Go ahead and take that guy out. Your little cover. So this screw, it's basically the same size as the other screw, but it is longer, so kind of want to keep this all separated. Just put use those as a little, try not to knock them over. And then we got this little nut, and then there's 4 little flaps that are folded over to keep you from undoing that and messing with it. Looks like we got a little screw here. It's a little bitty guy, so it's smaller than the other two. is the part here that gets just really sticky. Just unwind it like so and pull that straight up. It matters which way that goes on or not. Kind of looks the same either way. We got that spring there. The side's a little shorter. Just keep that on there. That's the part you'd want to clean right here, get all the gunk off of there, and then the inside is a little. Alright, so if we were going to put this guy back together, I'd probably start, get this up in here. Oh, well, there's this, gotta get this coil spring. Alright, got it. Just gotta hook that one around that guy. So I'm gonna just hold this in place and see if we can. Try to hold this spring back and put that guy on there. There we go. That's our clip for that one. That piece and that piece, it's going to go in there. You can see some witness marks there where that's been shifting and whatnot. Now, this piece I didn't take out here as well. Looks like there's another clip down there and then a spring under this guy. If we take the other one apart, I'll take it out on that one. I know where this cable's going to end up as far as our kind of starting position. I don't think that really matters too much. Kind of just press that down and there we go. Got that guy engaged right there. I'm still kind of holding it together. It's not super spring loaded, so it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. Alright, so we got this guy. It's going to go like this. It's going to unwind like that'll go in there, I think. Set that on there. Spring back to there. It's going to go over that hump and then rest on that piece. We can stick our, yeah, we got to get this spring right in there and wind this guy, stick our bolt through that thing, hook that on, and then kind of hold that down and give her a little pivot. I don't know, somehow that's going to go down a little further. I'll figure that out in a minute, but meantime, let's go ahead and get these bits. Oh gosh. Get our nut on there. I have no idea how this goes. I'm going to try it like this now. No, I just think this way looks better. Maybe. Maybe not. Feels like it's sitting in like that. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. Guess you would want to tighten this to the point where there's not a lot of play in that guy. I think that's how it has to go, because otherwise this piece, that stays fixed, so otherwise it would maybe interfere with the tip of that spring right there. I don't know. I feel like it can go a little tighter though. There we go. And those guys back down. Put our cover back on there. Put our 2 screws back in, we're good to go. Alright, so we'll take a crack at the old EF51, see if we're basically the same thing. I think one reason for those little tabs on the sides of these, you can undo these screws, kind of keep them in there, and they will sort of keep the screws in place. So if you can do it like that, that's going to be your best option. So yeah, this one, it doesn't have that little ring, so it's a little simpler. You know, see if this back piece is the same. So far it all looks basically the same to me. And a couple small Phillips. Some cases you need kind of a real small one, and some maybe a number 1, I guess. Just use what you got, I guess. So yeah, they're a little different. I mean, same basic system, but this piece is definitely different. This piece is a little different, but same. Looks like it's got a little vent hole there to maybe let water drain out, or you could, I don't know, you could probably use that as a hole to shoot, you know, shoot some lubricant in there occasionally, because that's got some, you know, it's basically metal pivoting on metal. So anyway, set this thing aside and go ahead and just pry these little tabs back. Try not to gouge my fingers. Go. One more. Okay. I think that's an 8mm. Yep. So same size there. Let's go ahead and get this little clip off. Thought I lost the last one, but I guess I had it saved there. I'm just gonna it's that guy. Alright, go ahead and do this thing. So this is kind of similar to the other one. It looks like the bigger end is going to set that way, and then, you know, this shallower end here has a little clearance for where that little spring perch hole is. So basically just like that. And then that other one came out okay. I don't know if you can, I don't know, let's just try it like this. Maybe we can, yeah, I think we can get this back in there with this this guy still attached. So, you know, you can definitely at this point take off this little clip. This is going to be one of the main issues. You know, if you want to take it to this point, well, what you'll find is that you can see how the thing just flicks right into place. It moves super freely. That's what you want. What'll happen if the lube that's inside of here gets gummed up, it doesn't retract quick. It'll retract like this, or it'll just be stuck. So you can use really hot water that will break that free. WD-40, PB blaster. You know, again, a lot of times you don't even have to disassemble this. If one's really stuck, this is maybe the easiest way to disassemble to this point, but I think you can take your clip off, that slides off, clean the shaft off, you know, basically degrease everything, and then re-lube it with maybe a thicker wet lube instead of a grease. You know, something like a Fieldwood Tenacious Oil or Dumont-Tech Free Hub. You know, it's kind of a similar deal. You just got a real light spring that controls a little ratchet. So maybe a thicker oil I think would be ideal. And so we got this spring here. And so now once we have this guy out, should be able to, and we got that off, so we should be able to kind of just, well, let me go ahead and shift it down all the way. There we go. It's kind of a tight squeeze to get that thing on there. That just unwinds. You got that spring that fits into that pocket. Probably don't want to confuse it with this spring. They are different. That one's got a little hook, and then they both have just kind of that. So, yeah. Keep those guys separated. And then got the little indicator and the little ratchet wheel. So those are basically the same. You could probably interchange the parts. That guy just fits on there. There's your cable. Fits in there. Unwind this guy. So then we got that spring for right there. So that's a similar thing. You know, you've got this little, see if we get a good look at that. This little, that's like the little release, you know, as it clicks and then releases each gear there. So we would want to pull this little clip off, slide that off, there's a spring, and then basically clean where this rotates, and same deal. So I don't know, I'm not gonna, you got this far, you should be able, well, let's just take it off. We're going full meal deal. There we go. So these clips look, between the three of them, that one may be the same as that, but you may definitely want to keep these, keep kind of track of them, I guess. Let's see, we should probably just kind of unwind that. Oh, a little bitty screw there on top. And yeah, it looks like that spring, there's a little divot down in there. Looks like right in there is where the end of that spring goes. So that's what that guy looks like. I think that's just gonna, we're in there right now, so it's really not much to that thing. You just have to clock it once you put the little ratchet wheel down onto it. But so we got our little bitty small spring there, and this you can go. Very good there. That feels like it's, yeah, I mean, it's in the groove, so the clip's turning in there. It'd be a good indicator it's in the little groove piece there. Gonna have to put this guy on there. Okay, get that guy in. This is attempt number 2. Wind that guy around. Yeah, I think this, we're going to take this thing off here. Okay. Try this again. Get our spring there. Went ahead and took that pawl off because I'm just not seeing that really working out how we want. Put that in there. Pull it back. Weasel it into place. Try it again. Get that spring. Get her down in the pocket. Get that around the bushing. That's the tricky part, keeping that down in the pocket. Got it. It keeps the pressure on that to keep it from pulling through. Let's go ahead and get our, there's the end of our spring. I'm going to get this up and under, just like so. It's not quite around the pawl, the spring isn't, so pull that up and over. There we go. You can see that spring's wrapped around the pawl there now. Put a clip on. Tweezers are real small needle nose. Going to come in handy for this. Again, I've kind of got the wrong tools for the job here. All right. So we got that piece, we got this piece ready. This thing's slipping. So we can hold that in place. We're going to put our ratchet ring on. There we go. Keeping good pressure on that, making sure it's not slipping. I think we're still good there. Yeah. All right. This guy next. Oh, that goes in. That one goes up under that little pocket. It goes like this. Just rest that right there for now. Rest that on that. that on the little perch. Alright, now we're ready to get this guy around. Yeah, so when I put our screw in, hook it on, keep some pressure on it though, so it doesn't pop out like it just did. Oh, I think this might be easier here if we actually, I don't know, I'm going to go ahead and put this thing on just to give us a little something to hold this in place. Okay. Yeah, hopefully we can pivot this guy around. I have to back this off a little. There we go. So that should hold it in the little piece there. And we got to get this, make sure it's weaseled down into here. Looks like it's what kind of got me the last time. I don't know how hard that is to see, but the end of this piece, the way it interacts with the little, there we go. Yeah, it has to rest on the edge of that ratchet ring under there. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. That piece rests up against this piece. So now we can rotate this guy around. Kind of got it just tight enough to where it's a little difficult to get it up over the shaft. So we'll back this off just a hair more. Gives a little more wiggle room. There we go. Okay, so we can put this clip back in place. There we go. Alright, she's totally functional now. So we can go ahead and test it before you go any further, just to make sure it's functional. Here we can adjust this out against touching. I'm going to back it off just a hair. Flip these guys back down. That just keeps that nut from moving, because that would come undone without those little tabs, and then it would work loose. Alright, we're almost done. Put our cap back on with that screw. So essentially, yeah, these are more or less the same thing. Little different pieces here, and some I bet are actually even interchangeable. But just in comparison to the EF51, this one's a lot easier to, I think, to rebuild, and the pieces are more, you know, the paws and a lot of the actual ratchet wheel, and some of those pieces are metal instead of plastic, so it's no XTR quality, but it's something that's going to last for a long time. And as far as the rear, it's basically a mirror image. It's backwards, but it's mirror image of the same thing. It's going to be the same mechanism and everything. So yeah, these guys back ready for action. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.